Spoiler warning, but, you know, if you haven't seen it, just get an HBO Max free trial. Just use a fake email. Create a new fake email. To say I was pretty pumped for Godzilla vs. Kong would be like saying Hitler was pretty pumped about the Aryan race. For any fan of Godzilla, Kaiju, monsters, or any rubber suit monster fights, Godzilla vs. Kong feels like the Super Bowl, or World Cup for my non-American viewers. As someone who had many issues with the American Monsterverse movies, I must say I stepped into my living room a bit nervously, expecting the level of frustration I got in the rest of these movies. The Monsterverse thus far has had bland characters with too much screen time, subdued, hard-to-see monster battles, and an overall lack of fun. While booting up HBO Max, I was overflowing with both excitement and dread. So did I like it? Well, I'll answer that question with another question. After spending 16 months in a Soviet prison, do you think Francis Gary Powers liked it when he was freed, flown home, embraced by his loved ones, vindicated by his country, and sucked off by Marilyn Monroe? Of course I liked it. How dare you ask me that? Okay, a few critiques to get out of the way before I just gush all over your face and hair. The idea that there can only be one alpha and they will definitely fight every time feels like a lazy excuse to not have to write actual circumstances to get them fighting. I think Brian Tyree Henry's character should have been played more straight and allowed his paranoia to create humorous moments instead of having him crack jokes about DJ booths. The conspiracy trio made too many jokes in general towards the end. HBO Max wouldn't stop fucking buffering. I hate Kyle Chandler and I wanted his character to die. Spoilers, he doesn't. There's a Tide Pod reference nobody asked for. And that's really it. The science could have made more sense, like a lot more sense. But no, fuck that. Who gives a shit? If the science logic stops you from enjoying this, then get your fucking joy gland checked. And by that I mean your reproductive organs. The biggest standout to me in this film is the structure and the pacing. It's such a tight and concise script. The fact that they got all of this under 2 hours is a miracle, because in that time we got to experience so many different environments and settings without sacrificing pacing. No scenes, characters, or elements felt shoehorned in or unnecessary except for Kyle Chandler's face. Now, these characters, are they rich and depthful and have decent arcs and developments? No. But it's a Godzilla movie. See, I think most people agree that the elements we critique in other films don't have to be good or make sense in Godzilla movies. This franchise just gets a pass. If that wasn't the case, then there's no way Godzilla vs. Megalon would have a Criterion Collection Blu-ray available. In a normal movie, we could sit here and analyze the character arcs, logical issues, and dramatic elements, but it'd be like doing that for Super Mario games. It's not why we showed up. However, I will not stand with those people that complain and say there should just be no human elements. The characters in Godzilla movies are like all of the shell cracking when you eat seafood. It's necessary because without it, you just get the good stuff and it's not right. You can't just watch 90 minutes of a monster punch up, and you can't just spoon wet, floppy crab meat into your mouth. What is wrong with you? There has to be a story, and that story can't be conveyed in monster noises, or you end up with the Star Wars Holiday Special. The best that human drama in Godzilla can do is to create or at least inspire the initial conflict, then play a crucial role in assisting the fight. Don't show me them just running around the fight with an upward angle as if they have any control whether or not Godzilla steps on them. Also, they can have interpersonal problems, but I'm really not going to be invested in it, so take it easy. I must be the facts, because I don't care about their feelings. And for all these reasons, Godzilla vs. Kong is an excellent example of how to do human drama in a kaiju fight film. Brian Tyree Henry's character really jumped out to me immediately as a great sign for the rest of the movie. His level of involvement and role in the story is what I wanted from Bryan Cranston's character in the 2014 Godzilla. I wanted Cranston to investigate the issue as we, the audience, learn about the mysterious shadow organization. Instead, they just killed Cranston and hard cut to the inside of the control pit of the Shadow Organization, which I suppose is effective from a runtime standpoint, but I was getting emotionally attached to Bryan Cranston's character there. The inclusion of Millie Bobby Brown and Julian Dennison created a fun trio of investigators that unveiled Apex and Mechagodzilla to the audience. They carried the beginning of the film through the setup and sort of devolved into jokey side characters, but it was in time for me to stop giving a shit about them and start watching the big monsters fight. Speaking of which, the big monster fights were excellent. From a visual standpoint, this was the best Godzilla movie I've probably ever seen. The shots are wide, clear, well lit, and steady, unlike King of the Monsters where it was either raining, dark, or monochromatic. The fight in Hong Kong was extremely visually appealing. I loved how the background slowly transitions from a neon city to rubble and fire, a stark reference to pastoral destruction in World War I. I also love that Kong was certainly the weakest of the three. As a Godzilla fan, it's so clear how little of a chance Kong would stand. Godzilla is an indestructible walking atomic bomb. Kong is a big, soft, fleshy mammal. Not to mention, he's a fucking simp. Of course he should lose, and he does. He lost in the battle against Godzilla. Nobody needs to argue about it on the internet anymore. But Kong is the main character here. Kong gets his own little Shrek morning wake-up routine as his first scene.
Somebody once told me the
Godzilla's first scene is him going on a destructive tirade of, at that point, a supposedly innocent cybernetics company. Also, innocent cybernetics company is an oxymoron. They are evil and they must be purged. It's funny how Godzilla gets first name billing on this movie when it's clear Kong was the central point of the film. I mean, they taught him sign language. How the fuck am I supposed to root for Godzilla after that? He's the underdog. He's captured. He reconnects to his cultural roots. He's like also, and don't judge me, you know, he's like low-key hot. You can't help but root for him. This was conflicting as someone who was Team Godzilla. Luckily, they understood that Kong's obvious weakness lent more emotional connection and decided to present him as our struggling hero. Also, you don't really want to piss off Japan by making an American character just totally dominate the Japanese one. When Godzilla and Kong work together, they can do what they couldn't do alone. Completely demolish human technological advancement. And isn't that really what it's all about? Reject modernity. Return to monkey. And fuck Kyle Chandler.